Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Raider. It's a little after 9 o'clock on March 19th, 2020. And I just want to introduce you all to our remote learning platform. We're going to be primarily using Google Classroom, complemented by YouTube videos that I'm going to create, including this one, to help support your learning as best as I can between now and April 20th. And I want to go over some key information. I'm going to try to do so in the next 5 minutes. So your Google Classroom dashboards would look similar to mine, although obviously you would have different classes. And I will give class-specific instructions. So whether I have you from Model United Nations, AP World History, College Now Sociology, or Quality of Life Economics, I will give you some brief instructions on each of those classes. But I just want to kind of begin with just some general things to kind of consider. So although we won't be together officially in one location for a long time, I do encourage you to reach out to me and to your classmates via email. There may be opportunities for video conferencing. There will be times where I'll be holding office hours where I can answer any questions that you might have, so on and so forth. I want to first just draw your attention to this New York Times article, How to Keep Your Distance. And it just kind of speaks to some of the things to kind of keep in mind during the coronavirus outbreak. And I want to point out just a couple of things to keep in mind. So according to current CDC guidelines, you are still allowed outside, just to try to avoid the really, really large groups that are more than 10 and certainly no more than 50. This article specifically just looks at what the concept is of social distancing, what self-quarantine looks like if the city eventually goes in that direction. So within Google Classroom, I will continue to post assignments to the dashboards for the assignments itself. I wanted to show you, this is one sample video from my quality of life class that I made the other day, just to help that group consider how to revise and or write their research and analysis papers. The next tab is the current YouTube channel that I've set up at this point. There are 2 lessons posted right now. There are the lessons for yesterday, today, and tomorrow for economics. And I put up Monday's lesson from my AP World History class on the Black Dragon Society of Japan. And I want to point out just a few more general things to keep in mind for this week before I go into class-specific information. So just in terms of getting general information, there are a lot of good reputable news organizations. One in specifically that I watch every night at 6:30 on NBC News is NBC Nightly News. They do tend to post everything on YouTube the following day. So just to kind of point out some things, there are some major changes that are taking place. So the Senate just passed the coronavirus economic relief bill. What you're seeing here is a hospital ship from the U.S. Navy. It's going to be sent into New York City to provide additional support as needed. So that's something to check out. If you have extra time on CNBC Originals, there's a lot of really interesting videos that just talk about different things. So, for example, the most recent video is looking at like who actually owns gas stations in the United States and what that actually looks like. I saw that. It was pretty good. This one was looking at what's happening with coronavirus in terms of the U.S. federal government. This one looks at energy storage, the SAT, bringing back foldable phones, airline meals, healthcare systems, so on and so forth. There's actually a lot of things that you could look into as you look at different things that have been posted that are affecting people in the United States. Now, this next set of videos is specifically for my economics class. So this is a series for NPR. It's called Planet Money, and they explain the economy through a podcast. Some of their videos are really good. Some of them are so-so. They usually do post within a day or two. And just scrolling through, you can get some ideas in terms of the things that they do post. I usually watch the indicator. I don't usually watch the other stuff, but I will look at the indicator and look at what's actually happening. It informs me of what's going on in the world. Okay, now for my AP World History class, you all have seen Crash Course before. And just kind of something to remind you of, Crash Course can give you some information that can be very useful. I'm going to click on this one for World War II. And for all the classes, keep in mind, I mean, obviously YouTube will have its announcements, but closed captioning can be very useful. And they can break down what it is. You can fast forward, you could rewind, you can pause, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that you can do with the Crash Course videos. They do tend to talk fast, but the information tends to be pretty useful. Just in terms of general updates, the College Board is talking about two possible options at this point, possibly having a later testing date, late May, early June, or having students test from home remotely. I have no idea what that would look like. And just again, I'm going to be fully transparent. As I learn information, I will convey it to you, my AP World History students. We'll see how this goes. And the same is true for those of you in my Model UN class who are in AP US History. We'll see how the testing changes. The next video is for my college now sociology class. We will have remote learning 4 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, just as we've been doing in regular classroom instruction. Again, crash course, they have a whole course, 45 videos on sociology as well. When I originally designed your midterm exam, I actually linked each of the key questions with crash course videos. I'll continue to do that. And this is a general announcement for all my classes. Your grades going forward are going to be only assessments and classwork. There will be no homework, but technically all the classwork is done at home, so it's going to be a 50-50 divide for the second marking period. When we get to the third marking period, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and as I learn more information from the school and from the city, I will be glad to share that information with you all as well. And for my Model UN class, we will meet once a week, and we will essentially engage in class simulations and discussion boards. I am learning more about various video software, including Zoom, for holding meetings. I'm thinking for that class, Model UN, maybe once every other week we can meet for a half hour, an hour as a group and engage in simulated debate and resolution writing. For my AP World History class, I'm thinking something similar, maybe once a week or once every other week. We can meet for, say, 15 minutes to 30 minutes as a group. Whoever can meet, whoever can't, doesn't have to meet by all means, but it is like a way for us to continue to engage in interactions with one another. I want to thank you all for listening. I appreciate you. I appreciate your hard work going forward. And as always, if you have any questions, please do reach out to me. I will do my very best to help you out as best as I can. Thank you, and enjoy your weekend.